means roll it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Backlog Banter. My name is Tucker Hazel. Today I'm joined by Tanner Dykstra and Aaron Buhner. Today we're here to talk about the newest animated movie of the summer, Legend of Hank, Paws of Fury. One of the two subtitles, swap them however you please.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, so we saw this movie opening night. No one else in our theater. They left at the beginning of the film. But if you want to talk to us for some reason about The Legend of Hank, Paws of Fury, you can join our Discord. Link is top of the description. While you're down there, you can like the video, you can subscribe to the channel, you can ring the bell to notify yourself when we review any other movies, except for this one, because we'll sure shit never be talking about this movie again.
Nope. Let's just quickly note the Big Nate clusterfuck, because this wasn't just an anomaly at our AMC, this is part of the Legend of Hank experience.
This is Paramount Nickelodeon's Pixar shorts.
Yeah.
Right.
They're going all in on Big Nate animated shorts.
Yeah. And having read Big Nate a ton as a kid, I literally looked over to incredulous as we enter a hamster fueled fever dream with like Wonder Pets animation and like farting out baby hamsters and ice cream. I mean, it's really awful.
Yeah.
And it really set the tenor for the film. And actually, it was us and a couple behind us who are doing a little hanky panky, we think, in the Hank showing.
Yep.
But they left. The Big Nate thing was so bad they left before we even got to the opening credits for Legend of Hank. So
I concur. Big Nate animated short. What an awful experience.
Happened.
And of course, did set the mood, the aesthetic for the rest of the night.
Did set the mood because this movie tries to have its own identity by ripping off another movie, which of course is Blazing Saddles. Yeah. This is an executive-produced Mel Brooks film. He is a voice actor in the film. It's got a stacked voice cast, and our current headcanon is that is the only reason this film got made.
Yeah.
Is that someone had this idea, they got Mel Brooks to sign off on it, everyone else got on board, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Cera, Michelle Yeoh, all these people, but none of the script quality, the animation quality, the voice acting quality almost across the board is there, making this one of the least engaging animated film experiences I've ever had, which is not saying that much, because actually I don't watch that many animated films, but this is one that would have felt much more at home coming out when we were kids, over a decade ago.
Yeah. As I said on the car ride home, it's pretty all right for a 2008 straight to TV kids film for Nickelodeon. But yeah, this is really and truly awful. It is. I mean, it is unfunny. It is poorly animated. It is blatantly a ripoff. It completely misunderstands what it's trying to rip off, which is honestly, Blazing Saddles was like a very important film, a trend-setting film, an irreverent film to put out in 1973 or 4, the early 70s is when it came out. And it was this racial commentary. It was sort of upending the cultural norms of the time. And then Legend of Hank sort of, I would say sanitizes it, but I don't even know if that's a word you could use. Just bastardizes it in many senses.
Here's what I would say, right? Because I'm trying to think of what can I add that's new.
Yeah.
There's this sort of trend on like the periphery of the games industry where Web3 and crypto people are making games that just look like complete fucking nonsense, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what it like. This feels like crypto bros got the money to like get people to make an animated movie. Mm-hmm. It's soulless. It's lifeless, and frankly, it's so bland that it becomes insulting as sort of like a function of its production, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I was asleep for most of the movie, to be honest with you. Genuinely, like that's not even a joke. I just genuinely was. But what I was awake for was inoffensive. But there's something incredibly offensive about that. Right? Yeah. When you get this caliber of talent, but you put them in a film that is animated so poorly. I mean, the standard for animation has become so high, not only by Pixar, but I think, Illumination puts out for sure. Really great looking films.
In-house Disney, DreamWorks, all these companies.
All of these studios have raised the bar of
Sony
animation.
Animation.
To a point where this just is embarrassing. It looks embarrassing. And obviously the quality of animation is not the only thing to hang your hat on, but when you're hearing these incredible voices, Samuel L. Jackson and everybody, turning out such awful humor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The name of the town is what? Mucho, Cacamucho?
Cacamucho.
Yes.
Like
Lots of poop jokes, lots of fart jokes.
That's literally the basis of the humor. That's it's not because
it's two pillars of humor.
Sure,
it's the pee pee poo poo
toilet
humor,
the toilet humor,
and then self-referential. We're trying to do Blazing Saddles again. We know this is a movie. We know that it's ripping off a movie. We know that other movies exist, sort of,
right.
And this we're writing these into the script, sort of humor that is what the bastardized version it feels like that we were talking about earlier. The pee pee poo poo humor. I expected that to be in there.
Yeah.
Frankly, that's the stuff that just didn't bother me that much. I'm like, okay, the evil army ate beans, so they're farting. That could happen in basically anything. But
it happened in Blazing Saddles.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but I think just when one of the premier first jokes of the film is it says pop as in population, and a character comes with a red paintbrush and makes an extra O, so it says poop, 250 something, whatever.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But I think Tucker, your second pillar there of the self-referential can almost be split into two sub-pillars.
Oh God,
the more egregious one being, and I'll let Tanner take it from here. The we know we're in a movie humor.
Yeah, this happens on a number of occasions. There's a reference to the runtime of the film. Multiple references to the runtime of the film. At one point, a character stumbles out into the movie audience, which again, some of this stuff is ripping off of Blazing Saddles. Some of it is something I realized and codified today in a conversation with these two beautiful fellows. Something that I really hate about, especially modern film, but it's a trend that has only increased recently, which is, we have to be self-referential, and we can't if we're silly, we can't be silly for being silly's sake. Yeah. We have to recognize that what we're doing is stupid and let the audience know that we know what we're doing is stupid and not have any fun with it at all, really. At the end of the day, and that's what this movie falls into. It is. We know we're in Michael Cera on multiple occasions is this is the point in the story where blah 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 happens. I'm if you're doing the tropes, this is something I reiterated to these guys today. If you're doing the tropes, it's fine. They're tried and true tropes. They're tried and true narrative structures. It's fine if you do them. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, but just don't hang a lantern on it by saying, look, we're doing the tropes. How about a little song and dance and juggle and we're riding a rhythm cycle? Isn't it funny that we're doing the tropes? Huh, audience? Do you find it funny?
Yeah, and the structure of this film is just that. In the fact that they continue calling attention to the fact that they know that it's just the tropes beat for beat across the entire film is, I think, what makes it so grating to watch. Because otherwise, it's a character is training to be a hero and becomes a hero. Yep. And that's a story that we've seen a bunch of times. Yep. But the fact that they had to keep telling us that they knew that this was a soulless ripoff of other things. It's it's still a soulless ripoff of other things, even if you recognize that.
Exactly. Precisely.
The final thing I want to mention is the voice acting we mentioned earlier. I think that there's some performances in here, specifically Ricky Gervais, I think turns in a terrible performance as the main villain who is constantly showing up. And through all of his voice lines, you can tell he just was not paying attention. He barely puts in any effort into the lines. And it doesn't really feel like the animation matches the voices.
No.
And that's, a commentary on the lack of animation quality as well, but the two really make each other stand out even more.
All I would say, and I'll circle back around to my crypto bro metaphor, I felt scammed.
Yeah.
As crypto and NFT is a scam, so is The Legend of Fury Paws of Hank, or whatever the fuck that movie's called. It really, on the basis of an incredible crop of talent, swindles you out of time and money and throws Big Nate hamster shitting in front of it to add insult to injury.
And add runtime.
Yeah.
Add runtime.
Swindled, much like I can only assume that Mel Brooks was swindled in the making of this film.
Yeah.
Truly sad that this will likely be his last film.
He's still alive right now, by the way.
He is still alive.
The rest in peace, we'll just be clear, Mel Brooks is alive.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor, though, who is credited,
he's not alive. No. He is not alive.
So making this his most recent credit.
Yeah, I mean, really awful film. Do we want to give scores? I'm going to give it a 1.0.
Yeah, I'd give it a 1.3.
I don't give a fuck.
All right.
That's fair.
1 point something.
Sure.
1 point down.
For the record, for the BLB record keepers out there, all you keen-eyed record keepers, everyone's going to give it a 1.0 as well. How about that?
Sounds good to me. But thank you for watching. We'll see you guys for other movies.
Yeah, whatever.